It's Wednesday and it's exciting because this is my first YouTube live. I'm used to Instagram lives, but we're gonna give this a shot, and we're in the new Dollhouse workshop. So good times are going on. My name's Amanda, in case you don't know me yet, and I'm an interior designer for human houses and dollhouses. And like I said, it's my dollhouse workshop, aka my garage. So in these lives, I kind of give you a behind the scenes tour, talk about what I'm working on, show you my design process, and we just have a good time. So yeah, I think Workshop Wednesday is one of my favorite days of the week. Definitely an underrated day. So let's get to it. First, let me give you just a little tour of the workshop, of the new workshop, I should say. This one is half the size of the last one, maybe even less. So it's still a bit of a mess. I've only been in here for maybe like a month. So wait, what day? Okay, a month and a couple weeks. But like the workshop was not even operational. Like I had so much stuff in here. When we moved, we had 2 moving trucks, and one truck was all workshop. So like that was intense, and it got all stuck in this tiny garage. So we're making it work. We are making it work, and it's getting there, right? Like the last workshop, I was there for 8 years. So it's gonna take me a while to get that same sense of like coziness and like collectedness and that personality, but we're gonna get there. So right now it's, I wouldn't say bare bones because there's nothing in here that's bare. It is packed to the max, but it is basics, I should say that. It is like what I need to get the job done, the necessities, and like I did hang up my sign, and I do have my lady lamp. So like those are important for sure. Those are iconic to the workshop. So we got those, and the rest will come. So you'll just have to wait and see. So I'm gonna flip you around. Don't be afraid, okay? It's exciting. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ta-da! Okay, I know it's underwhelming, right? But this is obviously the door that I enter through. And what's nice is that I've always wanted a window, and like if I open this, there's a window in the hallway. So like I can kind of say I have a window in the workshop. We're gonna look at that side later, but this side, so we've got the shelves where I keep the fabrics for human houses and the doll houses. These are all minis basically, and like little materials. We got the dog house, we got the beach house. This is the prototype for the mouse house, so we'll get to that later. Some more mini things, fabrics, a TV, which I never had before in the workshop. This is it looks horrible, I know, right? But these are all wallpaper samples. I need to have a better system. This was Charlie's tank, which obviously she no longer needs. So yeah, that is getting changed. Well, hey there, how are you? Thanks for joining the live. I'm just doing a little tour. So here we've got Einstein looking over things. This is kind of like a wood zone in the bucket that I'm gonna do for wood tones for the mouse house. And then this one will be for fabrics for the mouse house, more wood finishes. And then some storage options, and the back desk, and then more shelving. So it is coming along nicely. And now I'll tell you, like, show you the scary side, okay? Like this, it's still a work in progress. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Don't judge me. Okay, so I didn't show you the mouse house, but what I'm working on is a mouse house. And no, it is not for a real mouse. Everybody asks that. It's so funny. It is for an imaginary mouse, right? So this is for a client in California. I always want to say Colorado. California. I have to really kind of stop and think. Sorry. California. And she's doing like a California Cotswolds vibe. So we are going to replicate that in the mouse house. Now this is going to go in her hallway, right? It's going to be by the baseboard. You're going to have to like lay on the floor and like look in the window. If that's confusing, you'll kind of get it as we go along, because I'll show you the mock-up of what we're going to do. But every house starts with a plan, whether it's a human house or a dollhouse, it starts with a plan. And I drew this on myself on AutoCAD because I really enjoy that. So we have our furniture layout, right? And then we've got like, this is the electrical outlet because it's going to be wired. We're going to have electricity. You're going to be able to flip a switch and turn on the lights. It's going to be so cute. So this fits inside the wall, right? This is the front of the wall. This is the window. This is the door where you'll see into the mouse house. And then this fits into her master bedroom closet cabinetry. So this is drywall, wood paneling, all that kind of stuff, right? So this is our schematic plan of how that is going to go. The next page, we have the elevation. So this is what you're gonna see when you're in the hallway looking at the house. So we've got our front door, which is a cute Dutch door, which is actual what they're using in the house. So that's really cute. And I've never used a Dutch door before, so I'm excited about that. We got this cool window. There's gonna be a light, and then this is the light switch, and it's gonna be like a clear switch plate. It's gonna be really cool. So I got that. This is so that the guys who are building the house, because the house that they are living in is actually being custom built, just like this mouse house. And then this is a side view. So like this is gonna be the exterior wall, right? This is hallway. This is like inside cabinetry. This is a hot outlet, which means it's always on. That's what they're gonna plug this dollhouse outlet into. So like the lighting will be wired to that. Then you'll flip this switch and the lights will come on and it'll be super cute. So that is the plan. And just doing that took a little while. But you gotta have a plan before you can start getting into it, right? So that is step one. Now let me flip you around again because we like to do this, and I'll kind of show you in 3D what it all kind of means and what it's gonna look like. I'm gonna put you here. I'm gonna actually flip you again, right? I'm gonna set you here. Let me check to make sure you can see. Bear with me. Like I said, it's my first YouTube live, which is similar. Okay, so here we have what would be the wall framing, right? And this is the mouse house. Ta-da! So it's gonna sit inside the framing. Let me do this too. It sits inside the framing, and then here you'll have drywall, and then this will be cabinetry, okay? So to give you more of an idea, the front is gonna be like this. This is your wall, okay? So the door will go here. And then we'll have our window, and it's really cute. And then there'll be baseboard here, right at the bottom. Where am I pointing? Baseboard here. And then you'll walk up to it and you'll be like, oh my gosh, what's in here? It's a mouse house. That's adorable. It's so cute. That is the goal, okay? So this is the mock-up. I always start with like prototype. That's what that guy is, the big white one. Everything starts with the prototype so we can get the thicknesses right. So that's the gist. Now I'll kind of walk you through the house itself. Like I showed you on the floor plan, we're gonna have the door. Let me actually get the door. This is the bucket of building materials. So I've got 3 buckets for this house already. Building materials and finishes and fabrics. So here's the door, right? How cute is this? That'll go here. We'll open it up a little bit. I think I can. I like fixed it in a way so it wouldn't fall over. Hold on. Okay. Here we go. Let's see if that cooperates. It's hard to do with one hand. Okay, so we got our door. And it's nice that it's got a window. You can see through. And then the window will be here. Right? How cute. Adorable. And there's a roof that goes on it. I'll show you that too. Okay, so we've got, and this is what you'll see from the hallway. Okay, so we've got a little sitting area with a fireplace. Now, this is not the actual furniture. This is just a mock-up so that we can make sure that we like this layout And then we will pretty much custom make everything. So this is a fireplace holder, and then we're gonna have a bookshelf here. There'll be 2 sconces and some artwork. We've got a little sitting area. We've got a dining table and chairs. We've got a little kitchen nook with a cute little fridge. That one might be staying, we'll see. And then we're gonna do a canopy bed, but not that one. It's gonna be like this one. Similar, right? It's gonna, not this old fashioned, more updated, but it's really beautiful. And this kit is from like the 70s. It's super cool. So that'll be pretty, but I gotta put that together. And then we're gonna do some stone in here, like this stone like that, which is made out of crates, FYI. So we're gonna do some of that. I actually have a call with the client on Friday to go over some of those details. Okay, so that is the gist of the layout of the house. But like I said, we're gonna go over the details with the client so that I can select the finishes. I'm gonna flip you around again because I like to just make you dizzy, sorry. I started pulling some fabrics and finishes so we can figure out what we want to do, because I need to have a game plan before I start executing, because actually the house is gonna get dismantled so I can do the floor and the wall and all of that, and it's easier to do it when it's in pieces. So these are actually, this is the actual wall color that the client is using, pale oak. I want to say it's Benjamin Moore. Yes, correct, Benjamin Moore. Oops, sorry. OC20 pale oak is one of my new favorites. I've been using it on a ton of houses, so it's just ironic that she was doing that too. These are wallpapers that she's using in her actual house, so I'm using that for inspiration. This is miniature flooring that I had custom stained before, and it matches what she's doing in her house as well. It's kind of this like caramely tones with a bit of gray, so we're using that as inspo, and I'm gonna have to custom stain this, and we're using that as a jumping off point. So we're gonna talk about what kind of fabrics we want to do, what kind of finishes for all of it, and we're gonna zero in on it. So once we kind of get an idea of where we're going, then we can really run. So just like in a human house, we start with that. We start with the vibe, with the inspo, and all of that. Okay, one thing I have done, which takes a while, is the prep. So this was laser cut by my lovely laser lady, Kelly. And when it was done, it was super dirty. So like what happens is these edges get super black like this, right? This is another piece. So it actually has happened because the wood starts releasing sap and the sap starts curing. At least I'm pretty sure that's what happens, and that's what causes that char because the laser is so hot. So what you have to do is go through and sand it. So I use this great sanding block that I got from the dollar store, and I'm just using a 220 fine grit sandpaper, and you sand the front and the back of everything, right? Go with the grain. That means on this piece you would sand this way, not this way. If you sand against the grain, you're gonna get scratches. You don't want that. So you sand with the grain, and a 220 is light enough to just like clean it up, because it's going to get painted, it's going to get wallpaper, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So it's enough to clean it up without affecting like the grooves and the shape of what you're sanding. So that's why I really like it. So you do the front and the back, and then I do all these grooves. I did here too, because if you leave it black without sanding, like paint is not going to stick so well to it, because the sap is kind of like a band-aid on it, so things just kind of slide right off. Now this is mainly going to get glued, and you're not going to see a lot of this anyways, but I really want to create a good seal, so I took the time to sand it all. A little tip when you're sanding tricky things, because I had to get into here, right? What I like to do is take a scrap piece of wood or a scrap piece of tile, and this is 1/4 inch thick and this is 1/4 inch thick, so this worked really great, and I made my notches 1/4 inch thick too. Thought ahead there. The way I like to design the houses is creating a kind of like a puzzle where you have tabs and you have notches and they slide into each other, and that really locks it into place. That's what I did with the tiny house and worked like a charm. Don't need any nails, just need some good wood glue. So what I like to do, stick this around this, and then you can sand. Let's see if I can show you how to do that. You can get it in the groove, right? I can't really show you at this angle, but I think you understand what I'm saying. So then you can sand it in the groove, and the same for these notches. You would put it on another piece, and then you can get really into here and into here. And what's good about having a piece like this, where it's a stiff piece of wood, is that when you're sanding against something like the notch, or I'm sorry, the tab, you're not going to change the shape because you've got a stiff material going against. Like, it'd be like this, right? Nice and stiff. That's great. Okay, I hope that made sense. If not, give it a try. You'll see what I'm saying. And then it can still be very dirty. So this piece, I didn't sand, so it's dirty. The other pieces should be cleaner, because it's kind of frustrating when everything is dirty, but it happens because the laser is so heavily powered. So what you want to do is take a rag, some good old rubbing alcohol, isopropyl, however you say that. I have a hard time saying that word. And you do a little blah, and then you just wipe it all down, right? Wipe the edges, get a good clean on. It doesn't hurt anything. It's fabulous. So definitely want to do that when you're working with laser wood. At least I like to. So that's it. That is what is going on in the workshop currently. So next up, like we said, we're going to talk to the client on Friday, determine, do we like the layout still? What do we want to do for the finishes? What on the ceiling? What on the floor? Are we going to do the custom bookcase? Are we going to change things up a little bit? Once we know what direction we're going, then I can like do it. So stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining me on the very first workshop Wednesday from the new workshop, and we'll see you again next week. Bye.